Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nicole Queen, and I converted to Islam 3 years ago. I grew up in close to Louisiana, the border of Texas and Louisiana, and when I was 8 years old, I moved south of Dallas and grew up in a really small town there. Most people can't even find it on a map. We had about 48 kids in our graduating class, and so when we were growing up, we went to a fundamental Baptist church. So I kind of am very thankful to them.
تعيش نيكول وزوجها حسن حياة فيها حركة متصلة، حيث يعملان في قلب مدينة دالاس بولاية تكساس، وهي أكبر مدينة غير ساحلية في الولايات المتحدة.
My parents, they weren't really as religious. They were more free thinkers. Like they believe in God, and they love God, and they're close with Him. But they're like typical American people, where they don't really live their life for God. You wouldn't see it like in their daily routine, but my grandparents were definitely a lot more religious, and so we had a pretty strong foundation already instilled in us. I was a photographer here in Dallas, and most of the jobs that I got were at nightclubs because I was an event photographer. I was kind of like the paparazzi almost. We had to take all the pictures that showed up in the magazines that kind of told you who was in this party and who was in that party, as far as celebrities or athletes or any famous people that were in town. You can imagine, like, it was a really crazy lifestyle. Constant having to be at a party. Everything you did was at nighttime. You usually slept most of the day. And really not a peaceful lifestyle at all. Because I had still a little bit of that urge for God in me from growing up, like, as a Baptist, I felt a lot of emptiness. I want some peace. Like, I want to feel like I have a better purpose, that this isn't it. I'm just around a party all the time. Life's a big party. And I definitely didn't feel like life was a big party. It's kind of scary, you look at people and you think, nobody cares about anything. Nobody cares about anything important. They don't even really know what's going on outside of their little bubble that they live in. I used to kind of try to read my Bible. I would try to do a little soul searching and figure out, like, what is it that I'm looking for. And I would have nightmares at night, just where I'm just searching for something and it's like I can't find it and I'm always running towards something. I knew people that were Muslim, they didn't really practice Islam, so I was around it. I was exposed to it a little bit, I had friends that didn't drink. I knew people that were just a little different, and you would ask them, like, how come you don't want to go here or there? And they would say, oh, I don't hang out at those kind of places. I'm Muslim. And one night after a photo shoot, I was going to meet up with my friends, and I also met who's now my husband, Hassan, and he was kind of going through the same soul searching too.
When I met Nicole, we met in an outside lounge, and I was practicing Islam, but not completely the way I should be practicing Islam. And Nicole, when I met her also, she was looking for peace in her life. So by the time when we met, we were able to relate to many things together toward better ourselves, to be a better person.
We would talk to each other all the time about what we were looking for in life, about what we wanted to be, and how we wanted to be different than what we were now.
I kind of talked to Nicole about Islam, at the same time remind myself about my religion and what kind of person we need to be. So I was telling Nicole about how to go to classes in the mosque and to learn more about Islam. And same time for myself, I tried to get more closer to my religion.
He used to talk to me also about Islam, and so it was kind of like this Islam thing just keeps getting brought up around me. And the people who had the most discipline in their life and they had the most purpose in their life seemed to be these people. You know, they seemed to kind of stand out amongst everyone else as, you're all drinking, you're all partying, you're all dressing this way, but not us. And the more that I started learning about it, the more addicted I became to it. I started watching things on YouTube about Islam, videos from Yusuf Estes, you know, who is a convert to Islam, and I would sit up all night.
Definitely Nicole, she get me closer to my religion. Watching her going through these changes and for me not doing what I'm supposed to do, yeah, of course, she encouraged me to become a good Muslim.
And the more that I learned about the foundation of this religion, and the more that I was like, this is written for me. This is what I need. I need something strong, and I need someone to tell me, you have to stop living your life this way. If you want to have more purpose, here it is. When I started converting to Islam, it was a long transition. It seemed like a roller coaster at the time. It seemed like everything was happening all at once, and it was like a big blur. But now when I look back, I can see I made a pretty good transition. I took my steps, you know. The first step was, I need to know what's going on with this faith. I need to know the foundations and the pillars and the basic belief system, and I needed to make sure that it was something that I could actually believe in.
I was excited when I see her very interested to learn about Islam, and she want to be changing her life to a better life. I get really excited, and I try, you know, I give her the Quran to read it.
When I started to read about their religion, the transition of my life happened without me even realizing it. You know, I started to change the way I thought about other people and the way I thought about the world. So the way it affected my life was huge.
Sometimes we didn't talk for a couple of weeks or a month. I mean, and then I found out she's still doing all these things and learning about Islam, and to the point where she wanted to go to Islamic country, and she want to go and learn from the Muslim people, not just in books.
And I wanted to go and see what it's like in a Muslim country, really bad. I just had this urge to see what is it like to be around a bunch of Muslims, to be in a place where Muslim is the nation's religion.
So I told her, of course, you can go to Jordan, and I made it just available for her to go there and spend a month with my family.
He called his mom actually right away, and she said, please come. I mean, they were so happy to have me come and visit, and I went by myself. And I took a bunch of clothes that are typical for a hijabi girl to wear. And at the time, I thought of hijab as something that you have to earn. Like, you have to study Islam for a long period of time before you can wear the hijab. Like, that's what I thought. I thought, I'm never going to get to that point. It's going to take me a long time to ever be like those women, you know. I thought it was like a rite of passage. And so I went there with some scarves and some long skirts and hijab-style clothing because I thought, okay, it's a Muslim country and everyone's going to be dressed like this, so I don't want to, you know, insult anybody. And when I went there, I saw 30% of the country doesn't cover. They don't wear hijab. I wanted to show respect to the family that was hosting me, and the women in the family wore the hijab. Well, most of them wore it, and so I thought, well, I'll wear it when we go around town, and when we go out of the house, I'll put hijab on, so that I kind of blend in and don't draw extra American attention to myself when we're in this country. And so I started wearing it while I was there, and I would just wear it every day, and I was there for a month. And it got to where I was excited to put it on, like, because it was new, and whenever I put it on, I got so many compliments. Like, so many people would say, mashallah, you look beautiful, you look nice in the hijab, it looks better than you do without it. And I would think, oh my gosh, didn't look good all those years. So I would just keep wearing it every day. And when it was time to come back to Dallas, I was really nervous because I didn't think I'd be able to take it off. And I was like, what am I going to do when I get home? I want to keep wearing this, but I haven't told anybody because I didn't decide to wear it when I left to go to Jordan.
And when she came back wearing the hijab, I was happy, but I didn't tell her that.
So I came back and I told my friends and I told Hassan, I don't think I can take off this hijab. And they said, are you sure? I mean, it's a big step. What are you going to tell people? And I said, I don't know. I just can't take it off. And so I didn't. And I've worn it since then. I knew that a girl wearing hijab doesn't belong in a nightclub. And that's not respectful either to the other girls that wear hijab, because you're making a public display of your faith. So if I bring God with me into a nightclub, then I'm not showing him respect. So I knew, okay, you've really done it now. Now you're going to have to stop shooting inside nightclubs. You're going to have to change your career. And this is a business that I had built from nothing and was now very popular and was the top person to hire to shoot these events. So I was really worried about that. And I started turning down more and more jobs that people wanted to hire me for that were inside of a club or a bar.
Of course, she changed the way she sees things, her clothes, her friends, her job.
I went back to what I loved, and I said, I'm going to do what I was born to do, and I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer since school. I mean, this is what I've always done, and this is what I did when I was a kid. So I made a new portfolio. I just started from the ground up. I had done it before, so I was like, I can do this again. And I made a clean portfolio, and none of the images that I would do ever again were going to be women scantily clad, you know, and pictures of people drinking and partying and things like that. And so I made a new portfolio of happy things like weddings and charity events and political events. So I was still shooting what you would consider celebrities, but in their respective times, in the daytime, not at night when they're kind of letting the claws come out. So I changed my business, and it grew from there. And now, with my hijab on and my new way of shooting and my new kind of outlook on photography now, I am busier than I ever was when I was just flaunting myself. So I don't know if that's a gift from God or what, but my business has grown double since then, and I'm thankful for that. And everything that I shoot now, I feel proud of. I feel like I wouldn't be embarrassed to show this to my grandmother.
I mean, as a Muslim man, I wanted someone really be strong when they make their decisions. And the steps Nicole, she went through, they were really huge changes in her life. And I needed someone to just show me you can change yourself. So when I saw the changes she's making, the way she used to dress and now how she's dressing, and what kind of people and opportunities she had before she converted, and she put all that behind her, that was really very interesting and very important for me.
The way I used to dress before, for my kind of job, the sexier you looked, the more you fit in, and they wanted you to fit in. And it was a 2-hour routine for me to get